Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Layers of the Mind, the place where we explore the hidden layers of how people think, feel, and react. I'm Hannah Rebecca P. Lapot, and I'll be guiding most of our discussion today. Whether you're walking home from school, sitting in traffic, or winding down for the night, thank you for giving your mind a little time to breathe with us.
And I'm Von Aymar Oamista. We've been planning this show for months, and it feels good to finally share it with you. Each episode, we'll unpack one mental habit or thinking trap that affects the way we see the world, starting with one that's more common than people realize.
And I am Eliza Noreen B. Panag. I'll be chiming in with stories, questions, and maybe a few laughs along the way. We want this to feel like a friendly talk, not a lecture.
Exactly. And today, we're diving into something we jokingly call the onion-headed mindset, better known in psychology as emotional reasoning. It sounds a bit funny, right? But emotional reasoning can quietly shape our decisions every single day. Let's start simple. Emotional reasoning happens when we treat our feelings as if they're facts. For example, you might think, I feel insecure, therefore I must be worthless. Or, I feel nervous, so something bad must be happening. In that moment, your emotions start controlling your conclusions. Instead of checking the evidence, you rely on the mood of the moment.
It's surprisingly common. Both teens and adults do it, just in different ways. A teenager might think, my friends didn't reply fast. They must be ignoring me. An adult might think, my boss didn't greet me. I must have done something wrong. The pattern is the same.
And the emotion behind it always feels convincing. When you're anxious, every silence sounds suspicious. When you're sad, every neutral face looks disappointed. Feelings can color the entire world.
But feelings don't always match reality. There are signals, not evidence. A signal can tell you something needs attention, but it doesn't automatically tell you the truth. Imagine your feelings like a weather app. Just because the screen shows clouds, it doesn't mean it's storming outside right now. It's giving you a forecast, not a fact. Emotional reasoning when we forget the difference.
I like that metaphor. The weather app. Our emotions forecast what might be happening, but we still have to look out the window to confirm. Without the check, we end up dressing for a storm that isn't there.
Exactly. And then we wonder why we were carrying an umbrella in bright sunshine.
I've been there. I think we all have. The thing is, emotional reasoning isn't bad itself. It's natural. It's your brain's shortcut to make sense of feelings quickly. But when we rely on it too much, it can lead to misunderstanding, anxiety, or unnecessary conflict. So today, we will peel back the layers of this onion-headed mindset and learn how to keep our feelings in perspective.
So for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, maybe I do this sometimes, don't worry, we all do. The goal isn't to erase emotions, it's to use them wisely. Think of today's episode as emotional literacy training, learning to read what our feelings are really trying to say.
And once you learn that, life honestly feels lighter. You start noticing when your brain jumps from I feel bad to everything is bad, that awareness alone changes the story.
Beautifully said, Eliza. So stay with us. Over the next hour, we'll talk about where emotional reasoning comes from, why we call it the onion-headed mindset, and how to stop it from running your life. Let's peel the first layer together.
So why we call it the onion-headed mindset.
So you might be wondering why we call it onion-headed mindset. It started as a joke. When we were brainstorming the show, we realized that emotional reasoning feels a lot like peeling an onion. You think you figured it out, what's bothering you? But when you peel back one layer, another emotion shows up underneath. And sometimes you cry a little in the process.
It's true, emotions rarely exist alone. You might feel anger on the surface, but underneath, there's disappointment or fear, or even embarrassment. Emotional reasoning happens when we react to the top layer without looking deeper.
And it's messy like an onion too. You can just slice one layer and expect it to be clean. Feelings overlap, memories blend in, assumptions sneaks up. So when people say, I don't know why I overreacted, it's often because they only saw the outer layer of it.
Exactly. Let's take an example. Imagine someone criticizes your work. Instantly, you feel defensive. That's the outer layer. Anger. But if you pause and peel back the emotion, maybe underneath there's fear of failure or shame about not being good enough. If you react from anger, you might snap or shut down. But if you recognize the fear underneath, you can respond more thoughtfully. That's what peeling back the onion-headed mindset really means. Identifying what's under the first reaction.
I like to think of its emotional archaeology. You don't stop at the first artifact you find. You keep digging until you understand the full picture. And sometimes what you uncover surprises you.
Like realizing your irritation about someone being late isn't about them. It's about you feeling unimportant because it's harder than the surface annoyance.
That's such a good point. The outer emotion is often a mask for something more vulnerable underneath. And here's the tricky part. We rarely stop to check what the deeper feeling is. We just react.
When that happens repeatedly, emotional reasoning becomes a habit. You start assuming that every strong emotion must be true, when in fact, it's just loud. The loudest emotion gets the microphone, but it's not always the wisest voice in the room.
So basically, our emotions are like that friend who loves to talk at first but doesn't always have the full story of it.
And we're not careful. We let that friend make decisions for us. We buy things we don't need, argue over assumptions, or worry about events that never happen. All because the outer layer of the onion felt too convincing.
This is where awareness helps. Once you realize the emotions have layers, you stop treating every feeling as a final verdict. You start asking what's underneath this. That single question can turn impulsive reactions into mindful responses.
And the more you do it, the faster you catch yourself. It becomes like a mental reflex. Instead of spiraling, you pause and think, wait, what's the deeper emotion here? That pauses is where the emotional intelligence begins.
Exactly. That pause, that little breath of space, is what separates reacting from reasoning. When we peel layers, we don't deny our feelings. We clarify them. Think about a time you were upset and said, I'm just angry. But after a while, you realize you're actually hurt. That's peeling the onion. And it's not weakness, it's self-awareness.
It also helps in relationships. When you understand your layers, you communicate better. Instead of saying, you always make me mad, you might say, when that happened, I felt ignored. Same situation, totally different energy.
And the other person is less likely to get defensive because you're sharing what's really going on, not just the explosion on the top.
So the onion-headed mindset isn't an insult. It's a metaphor. It reminds us that human emotions are complex. If we only react to the surface, we miss the truth at the core. But if we take time to peel back, we discover empathy, understanding, and calm.
Peeling back the layers is uncomfortable sometimes, but clarity always feels better than confusion.
And maybe a few emotional tears are worth the peace that follows.
Well said. In our next section, we'll look at how to tell when you're stuck in emotional reasoning, the signs that your onion-headed mindset might be running the show without realizing it. Alright, it's story time! Because sometimes the easiest way to understand emotional reasoning is to see it in action. We've all been through moments that made perfect sense, emotionally but not logically.
And what's funny is, we rarely notice the pattern when it's happening to us. But the moment we hear it in someone else's story, it clicks.
Exactly. You hear it and go, oh, I totally done that.
So let's start with something close to home, a teen scenario. Because emotional reasoning loves teenage brains. Everything feels louder when you're growing up. Emotions aren't just whispers, they're full-blown concerts. Picture this, a grade 10 student, let's call her Maya, is walking into school. She sees her crush, Alex, across the hallway. He's laughing with another classmate, holding his phone, showing her something funny.
Maya's stomach drops instantly.
In less than 3 seconds, her brain runs a full movie. They're flirting. He likes her. He doesn't like me anymore. I knew this would happen.
That's emotional reasoning. Maya feels rejected, so her brain concludes that she was rejected without any proof.
And the scene in her head gets more detailed, the longer she thinks about it. She starts remembering tiny moments, that time Alex didn't reply fast, or when he seems distracted in class and uses them as evidence.
Her brain is now building a case, but it's a case made entirely out of emotions. The facts, she doesn't know that what they're laughing about. Maybe it's a meme, maybe it's a group project.
But because her emotions feel so strong, she believes that the story is true. She walks past pretending not to care, but now she's distant, self-conscious, and broody the entire day.
And then Alec later says, "Hey, are you okay?" And she answers, "I'm fine," but she's not, because she's already convinced herself something's wrong.
This is how emotional reasoning creates misunderstanding. Maya's feelings are real, that insecurity, that nervousness, that fear, but her conclusion isn't. Yeah. The mind said, I feel hurt, so I must have been hurt.
And notice, emotional reasoning doesn't just distort the story, it changes behavior. Maya's sadness changed her tone, her body language, her decisions. Suddenly, she's acting distant toward Alex, who has no idea that's wrong.
Which can make him feel confused or even rejected. And guess what? Now his brain might start its own round of emotional reasoning.
It becomes a chain reaction. Emotions feeding assumptions on both sides. That's how small misunderstanding turn bigger rifts.
So if you ever catch yourself saying, I just feel like it's true, that's your cue to pause. Feelings can suggest something, but they don't automatically prove it.
That's that line. I feel like it's true. That's the emotional reasoning red flag.
Exactly. And when you're aware of that, you start checking, okay, I feel hurt, but what actually happened? That little mental question is emotionally maturity and action. Now, let's shift gears. Let's talk about adults. Emotional reasoning doesn't disappear after high school. It just wears a better suit.
Right, adults just give it fancier excuses like, I'm just being realistic, or I have good instincts.
Exactly. Grown-ups rationalize their emotions instead of naming them, but the process is the same.
Imagine this. Maria works in an office. One morning, her boss walks by without greeting her. No smile, no good morning, just walks.
She feels a sitting in her chest. Her brain immediately says, he's mad at me.
And suddenly, she's replaying yesterday's meeting. Did I say something wrong? Did I send that email too late? Did he not like my presentation?
By lunchtime, Maria's convinced she's in trouble. She's quieter, less confident. When her boss finally talks to her, she's nervous and overly apologetic.
But there's a twist. Her boss wasn't mad at all. He had just received a stressful phone call and was distracted. That's it.
So Maria spent her half day in emotional reasoning mode, building a whole storyline from one passing moment.
This happens everywhere, at work, at home, even online. We interpret silence, tone, or expression through our emotion, not through evidence. And when we do, we live more in our imagination than in reality.
I think the hardest part is realizing that emotions feel a factor. When your heart races, your mind doesn't say, maybe it's just stress. It says, something's wrong.
And that's why emotional reasoning is still believable, because it's speaks in the language of the body. We feel it. It feels so real.
Exactly. But feelings are messages, not manuals. They tell us to check, not to decide. The moment you start checking, asking, what else could be true? You take your power back.
So, whether you're a teen assuming your crush doesn't like you, or an adult assuming your boss is mad, the formula is the same. Emotion to assumption to reaction. To break the pattern, we insert one step in the middle. Emotion to pause and question to response.
That's where the magic happens. That's where the clarity lives.
And that's exactly what we'll talk about next. Why people fall into emotional reasoning in the first place, and how our brains are wired for it.
It's not weakness, it's just how we're built.
And once you understand the wiring, you can start changing the circuit.
Stay tuned after this short break. We'll peel another layer and explore the psychology behind onion-headed mindset.
Okay, so why people fall into emotional reasoning?
So far, we've talked about what emotional reasoning is and how it shows up. But now, let's ask the deeper question. Why do we do it? Why are we so quick to believe our feelings, even when they might be misleading?
Because honestly, nobody chooses to overreact. Emotional reasoning isn't something we decide to do. It's how our brains are wired.
It's actually comforting to know that. Actually, it's not that we're dramatic or weak. It's just that we're human. Exactly.
There are three big reasons people fall into emotional reasoning: overthinking, past experiences, and low emotional regulation. Let's break those one by one. First, overthinking. The classic mental gym membership nobody signed up for.
Yeah, and once you start, you never stop paying the monthly fee.
Overthinking is basically emotional reasoning favorite playground.
When we overthink, we fill every silent moment with our fears. The brain hates uncertainty, so it tries to complete the story. If someone doesn't reply, your brain says they must be upset. If your classmate looks serious, your brain whispers, maybe they are judging you. Overthinking replaces missing information with emotion-based guesses.
And those guesses feel logical at first because they're emotional satisfying. Your brain says, now I know why I feel this way. It prefers a bad explanation to no explanation.
Which is why silence feels so uncomfortable. We rather feel it with our worry than accept than knowing.
Exactly. But every time we fill silence with fear, we train our brains to expect the worst. Over time, emotional reasoning becomes our default setting. So, the second reason we fall into emotional reasoning is past experiences. Think of your emotion like a library of memories. Every strong feeling you've ever had leaves a small bookmark in your brain. When something today feels similar, your mind instantly flips back to that page.
It's like emotional deja vu. You don't realize it, but your reaction is based more on the past than on the present.
Alright, so for example, if you once got criticized harshly, now even gentle feedback might feel like rejection. You react not what's happening but to what used to happen.
Yes, emotional reasoning takes an old wound and projects into a new situation. That's why certain emotion feels so out of proportion. The brain's trying to protect you, but it's protecting you from a ghost, not from what's actually in front of you.
This is especially common in relationships. A small misunderstanding can trigger a huge emotional wave because it resembles something that hurt you before.
And the person you are with has no idea you just stepped on an old emotional toes.
Exactly. That's why self-awareness is so important. When you ask yourself, am I reacting to this moment or to a memory? You give your brain a chance to update the story.
Oh, I like that. Updating the story because the past teaches us, but it shouldn't define us.
Right? Otherwise, we spend the present rereading old chapters.
Beautifully said. So the third reason is low emotional regulation. That's just a fancy way of saying we haven't learned how to manage strong feelings yet. Think of emotions like waves. Some people ride the wave, others get swept under it.
When you have a low emotional regulation, your body reacts first and your brain reacts later. You feel, two, you panic, and you believe the panic.
It's like your emotions hijack the steering wheel before you even realize it.
And teens especially feels this intensely. Their brains are still developing. The emotional part matures faster than the rational part. So feelings often win the argument.
That's why teen feels like a roller coaster. Not because emotions are wrong, but because they're loud. Every feeling feels urgent.
And adults aren't immune either. When we're stressed or sleep deprived, our regulations drops too. Even a small comment can sting more than it should.
Yes, emotional reasoning thrives in those moments when our emotional volume is turned up and our logical volume is turned down. It's not about being weak, it's about being overwhelmed. When you don't have space, thoughts, feelings easily become your facts.
The solution isn't to suppress feelings. It's to slow down enough to separate them from conclusions.
Which sounds simple but takes real patience or practice.
It does. But even small steps count, like labeling what you feel instead of judging it. I'm anxious right now. It's better than something must be wrong.
And the more you do that, the more emotional space you create. The wave still comes, but now you're surfing instead of drowning.
Oh, I love that. Surfing through emotions. It makes the idea of managing them possible.
So to recap, we fall into emotional reasoning because we overthink, replay our past experiences, and sometimes struggle to regulate strong emotions. None of these makes us broken. They make us human, but awareness gives us choice.
When you know the why, it's easier to work with the how.
And that's exactly what we'll talk about next. The tool and strategies to stop emotional reasoning before it takes over.
Stay with us. In the next segment, we'll share practical ways to challenge your feelings, ground yourself, and keep your onion layers from turning into tears.
Well said.
Can't wait to hear this one.
Alright, let's take a breath and let's heal into solutions.
So how to stop the onion-headed mindset?
So far, we've talked about what emotional reasoning is,
Okay.
why it happens, and how to recognize it. Now, let's peel one more layer on how do we stop. Because awareness is great, but what you do with that awareness makes the real difference. So let's walk through some practical, realistic tools you can use when you feel your emotions starting to take over.
And the key word there is practical. These aren't complicated psychology tricks. They're simple habits anyone can start using today.
Exactly. Think of them as a mental first aid. Little tools you can grab the moment your emotion starts bossing you around.
Love that. Mental first aid. Okay, so here are 5 tools that can help you stop the onion-headed mindset before it spirals. So the first one is ask for evidence. Whenever your mind jumps to a conclusion based on emotion, pause and ask. What's the proof? If you can find solid proof, no clear action, no confirmed information, then what you have is a feeling, not a fact. For example, I feel like my friend is ignoring me. Okay, Evidence check.
Evidence check, right? Okay.
Have they actually said anything? Have they treated you differently? Or did they just not reply yet? Usually, the facts are way gentler than your fears.
It's the classic detective move. Separate clues from guesses. Feelings can point to clues, but you still have to verify them.
And half the time, the evidence says, relax, you're fine.
Exactly. No trial needed. So the second tool is something we call the grounding phase. It goes like this. My feelings are real, but they are not facts. So say it again with me. Maybe even quietly, if you're listening right now, my feelings are real, but they're not facts. That single sentence can rewire the way you think. It gives validation and balance at the same time.
I like how it doesn't reject emotions. It doesn't say ignore your feelings. It says they're real, but not everything they tell you is true.
Yeah, it's compassionate and logical. It's the perfect mix, right? You're not fighting your emotions, you're grounding them.
When you practice that phrase, your emotional storms start to lose power because your brain learns to pause and separate what you feel from what you know. So, the third tool is pause before reacting. And I mean literally stop for 10 seconds, take one deep breath, step out of the conversation if you need to. That tiny pause can save relationships, grades, jobs, and your own peace of mind.
It's amazing what 10 seconds can do. You go from I'm going to say something I'll regret to actually maybe I should think about it this first.
I've saved myself from at least 10 unnecessary apologies that way.
So, when we react instantly, we're reacting from emotion. When we pause, we give logic time to catch up. It's like hitting the buffering icon for your thoughts. Let them load before you act.
Exactly. It doesn't mean suppressing feelings. It means giving them a moment to settle before making decisions.
And it helps your body too. That one breath lowers your heart and calms your nervous system.
Your body and your brain works together. When you calm one, you calm the other. So the fourth tool, get another perspective. When emotions run high, your view of reality narrows. Talking to someone neutral, a friend, classmate, a counselor, widens that lens again. Ask them, hey, does this sound right to you? Or am I overthinking this?
People outside the situation can see what your emotions can. They're not wearing the same emotional glasses.
Exactly. They tell you when your brain's being dramatic in the nicest way possible.
And sometimes they confirm your feeling is valid, which is just as helpful as
Either way, you win, you gain clarity, right?
yeah.
Perspective isn't about asking others to think for you. It's about checking whether your feelings match the facts.
And that's the life skill everyone can practice, no matter your age.
The fifth tool is reframing. Reframing means changing the way you phrase the story in your head. For example, instead of they ignored me, try maybe they're busy. Instead of I'm a failure, try I made a mistake and I can learn from it. Your words shape your emotions. When you change the sentence, you change the feeling attached to it.
It's a small shift with a huge effect. Reframing moves you from balance
Yes.
Reframing moves you from blame to curiosity.
And curiosity feels lighter than the guilt or fear. It makes space for problem solving. Sorry.
So next, your emotion says this is the end of the world. Try rephrasing it. This feels bad right now, but it won't last forever. That's how you stop your feelings from controlling your future.
90% of the time, what we fear is temporary anyway.
Exactly. The brain loves drama, but it's usually just normal people doing their best.
I love that.
Yeah.
Normal people doing their best. That's our motto for today.
Okay, so wrapping up the tools.
So to recap, ask for evidence. Use the grounding phrase, my feelings are real, but they are not facts. Pause before reacting. Get another perspective. Fifth is reframe your thought. These tools don't erase emotions, they organize them. They give you control of the wheel again.
And it's not about perfection. You still have emotional days. We all do. But the goal is to respond with awareness, not autopilot.
And the more you practice, the easier it gets. It's like the training your emotional muscles. Each pause, each frame, and each breath makes you stronger.
Beautifully said. Because emotional reasoning doesn't vanish overnight. But every time you choose reflection over reaction, you peel one more layer towards peace.
I like that image. Peeling toward peace.
Way better than peeling onions and crying over imaginary problems and adults.
Alright, now that we've explored what emotional reasoning is and how to manage it, let's give some practical advice, tips that work for both teens and adults. Because understanding is great, but knowing how to act is what really makes life easier. For teens, life can feel like a constant roller coaster of emotion. Everything is amplified: friendships, crushes, grades, all of it. Here's the first tip: you don't have to believe every emotion just because you feel nervous, lonely, or rejected. Doesn't mean it's the truth. Feelings can change fast. They flow like tides. Truth, however, is more stable.
Slow down before assuming the worst. Take a moment to check fast before reacting. That 10-second pause can save hours for unnecessary worry.
And give people a chance to explain themselves before judging. Teens often assume motives, but most people are just doing their own thing, not trying to hurt anyone.
Exactly. Awareness plus patience is equals to fewer misunderstandings and fewer unnecessary drama storms. Now, for adults, emotional reasoning can show up at work, relationships, or in daily stress. The first reminder is not every silence is rejection. Not every missed message, short reply, or avoided eye contact means someone is upset with you. Check the facts before letting your emotions run the narrative.
Life becomes lighter when you stop catastrophizing. A single small assumption doesn't need to grow into a full-blown scenario in your head.
And when you stop taking everything personally, it frees you. Other people's emotions are not yours. Your job is to respond thoughtfully, not to react automatically.
Exactly. Teens and adults alike, the principle is the same. Pause, reflect, check the facts, and choose how to respond. That's how you peel back the onion-headed mindset, layer by layer, instead of letting it peel you.
And remember, it's okay to peel. The goal isn't to suppress emotions, but to prevent them from controlling your actions or thoughts completely.
Think of it like gardening. You water the plants, you don't let the weeds take over the entire yard.
Beautiful analogy. Emotions are the plants, not the weeds. You just need to manage them carefully. And the more practice you get, the easier it becomes to notice patterns before they spiral.
And even small steps make a big difference. Pausing once, questioning a single thought, or reframing one situation can start a chain reaction of emotional clarity.
And the best part is it's something you can teach yourself. Teens, adults are born emotional. Awareness is a skill, not an inborn hail.
So whether you're navigating the chaos of teenage life or managing the complexities of adulthood, remember, you have the power to choose how emotions guide you rather than dictate you. Peel that layer, check the facts, breathe, and respond, not react. That's your path to clarity, calm, and better relationships. like that, we've peeled back today's topic, the onion-headed mindset, also known as emotional reasoning. We hope you can take away some useful tools and insights to help you guide your emotions rather than letting them control you. Remember, emotions are your friends, not your facts. They're signals, messages, clues, but they're not the final verdict.
Stay mindful. Pay attention to your feelings, but don't automatically believe everything they tell you. Step back, check the facts, and respond intentionally.
And stay kind to yourself. Everyone experiences emotional reasoning at some point. See, it's human. Give yourself praise while you practice these new tools.
This has been Layers of the Mind. Thank you for peeling back today's layers with us. We hope this episode gives you the awareness and practical strategies to notice when your emotions are speaking. And when it's time to pause, question, and reframe, see you in our next episode. Until then, remember, emotions guide you, but they shouldn't mislead you. Keep feeling, keep learning, and keep growing.
Take care and remember, one thoughtful pause can make all the difference.
Stay curious, stay gentle, and keep practice emotional awareness.
Layers of the Mind. See you next time.